It's SDS SuperCoach, providing SuperCoach content for you. I'm here to present my review of the mid-price madness. Seems like coaches aren't so into going the mid-price madness route. Sorry, we're Australian. Mid-price route. But I just thought I'd like to review because there are some interesting names that people are adding into their SuperCoach team. Yeah, let's get stuck in. I want to hit 1,000 subs before round one 2024. So that's only 50 days away. So I'd really appreciate if you guys can like and subscribe. Get the word out about this channel. That'd be fantastic. I do promise I will upload more content. That's for sure. So yeah, let's get involved. I'd really appreciate it. So yeah, let's get into this. So Kadeen Coleman at 398,000. Now he does have the round 2 bye, so you do have to take that into consideration. We did see how good he was during the AFL Finals series with no Daniel Rich, who's now retired. Fun fact, Daniel Rich is now playing for the Noosa Tigers in the QAFL, so thought I'd give you that fun fact. But Kadeen Coleman, he seems to be the main distributor, but we're going to have these answers sorted with some of these players by round 0, by the way, because we legit get 4 games for free for research and information, and four actual AFL games to see what's going on with 8 teams. So, but Kadeen Coleman, I'm personally not going there unless he proves me wrong in round 0. But just for now, no. Jack Bowes, he could look to move into the midfield and get a bit more midfield time. Certainly, Geelong's midfield has certainly seen its days now. Starting to look a bit old and ragged in that midfield with Blitzarves and Guthrie and Dangerfield, all champion players. Dangerfield's a champion player, but 3 really good players throughout their career. But they might want to add Jack Bowes for a little bit of extra spice involved in that midfield. So maybe one to look out for. Obviously, Geelong, don't really leak any information whatsoever. So they'll be a bit hard to attain until we start seeing some games in the preseason there. Marcus Windhager, he's now given the number 2. So shout out to Marcus Windhager. 323,000. There are a couple of people that go in this way, and I don't mind it. It's just more the fact, can he actually get a consistent run in the midfield? Like, there are a fair few names now. Paddy Dow came to the club. We'll get to him later. You got Steele, you got Ross, you got Crouch. You might want to give midfield minutes to Philippou and Machito Owens. So a lot of questions up in the air for that one. Heath Chapman, 251,000. I don't like it as much. I feel like people are picking him just because of the bye, but it doesn't even sound like they know what role he's going to play. Could be wing, could be halfback, but we really don't know. Plus, he's a little bit injury prone. So probably not a pick for me. Matt Crouch, this one's an interesting one because I see a lot of content creators. Shout out to all the content creators. They do such a good job. But I am seeing a lot of Matt Crouch. A little bit perplexed because is he going to finish as a top 8? A top 12 midfielder? I highly doubt so. So could he become the next Rory Laird? Rory Laird's now looking at 30 years old. So maybe but I mean, a couple of bad games from Matt Crouch. His job security isn't very good. A couple of bad games and he gets the chop because he can't really play in any other position than the midfield. So yeah, it's a little bit of a perplexing one. So not a pick for me, but if people want to go for it, go for it. Carl Amon does give me a little bit more interest though, because Hawthorn are trialling him off the halfback. We saw him play down halfback for the last 6 games and be sort of a quarterback type. That's what Hawthorn have quoted so far in preseason. But we saw that in the last 6 rounds. And 5 of the 6 games, he scored a ton. And that one stinky 57 game, it's just an off day for Carl. So, look, I've currently got Carl Amon in my team. And it seems like they're really locking in on him being a halfback and being a real distributor off the halfback. So personally, as a Hawthorn supporter, I don't agree with it, but I guess he's one of the best kicks in our team. But I mean, you pay so much money for a bloke that's to be on a wing. It's hard to get good wingers in the comp, and you're putting him halfback where I think I think, nearly half the team could play that role and do a good job. So I don't know. I personally disagree with it, but look, is what it is. If he's playing halfback, then I'm really inclined on picking him. He's one of my favourite mid prices. Ollie Wines, it doesn't seem like there's too much information coming out of Port Adelaide that his midfield time is going to get better. Still looks like he's going to be playing that wing sort of role, and they're more opting in on blokes like Jason Horne-Francis to be more in the midfield. We know Horne-Francis last year during preseason had surgery on the back of his knees, and that sort of hindered him a fair bit. I do expect Horne-Francis to have a even better season this season, and he is one to watch out. Probably not a SuperCoach pick, maybe more your draft selection, but I guess this could be the year where he really explodes. But I think his midfield time will increase, and I guess with blokes like, I guess in the midfield, if you got opposition is worried about Butters, Connor Rosé, he could just be the man that's totally forgotten about in that midfield rotation to opposition teams and totally let him walk free. So it's sort of that sort of thing. I mean, if you're going to blokes around this 420-ish K range, like this 490 to 400K range, I think the pick is Amon. We'll talk about the Cats boys here. Max Holmes, 446. Again, he's another one like Jack Bowes where I think, Geelong could add a little bit more spice in that midfield mix and throw Max Holmes in there. I think he's ready. I'd like to see him become a little bit more physical, though. I think there were times where he just didn't look very physical in tackles and that sort of thing. So hopefully he's worked on that during the off-season, because we saw in 2022 how good of a player he is. And he still is a good player, but just some deficiencies in his game I'd like to see improve. Cam Guthrie, 420K. Father time, I think he's a bit past it in my book. I mean, he did get an injury in round 6 and missed the rest of the season. So maybe just suss that out to see how he's going during pre-season. But nah, probably not for me. He's not really going to make enough money to be worthy. So I'd give him a miss personally. Josh Ward, I don't think this is an actual SuperCoach classic pick. But if you're in draft, this could be a good one if Will Day does miss like the first month of the 2024 season, because they are playing Josh Ward inside the midfield while Will Day is out. So he is one to suss out and keep an eye on during preseason. So as I said, he could be more of a draft, SuperCoach draft pick than a classic pick. I just don't think there's enough bang for your buck with Josh Ward there. Tom Sparrow, 375K. I'm just throwing him in there just because of Clayton Oliver obviously dealing with his personal issues. I've mentioned with this bloke before, Angus Brayshaw. We're not sure what role he's going to play or if he is going to play. Tom Sparrow, I think we could look at a potential breakout candidate in him there. Paddy Dow for the Saints. They obviously recruited him to add a little bit more into the midfield mix. I do expect him to play most weeks. I think he's good enough to play in that St Kilda midfield. So maybe he's one to have a look at if the opposition's centered in on Jack Steele or that sort of thing. I mean, Dow can rack up the footy, so there is a little bit of value there, just whether you want to go there. Angus Sheldrick, we saw during the season last year how good of a young prospect he is. Sydney get another young gun, and I can totally understand why I've seen a couple of teams with him. Maybe just not enough bang for your buck here. I mean, he moves really well, strong hips, that sort of thing. It's just more about if he's actually going to be playing midfield minutes. Jasper Fletcher, he could be the one to replace Will Ashcroft's role in 2024. So that is probably one to monitor there and just see how he's going up against Jared Lyons, Devon Robertson, that sort of thing. Ivan Soldo, 485K. If Jordan Sweet isn't picked and he is the solo ruck, now there's obviously the case that Jordan Sweet could be the solo ruck himself, but I think there's a much better chance of Soldo being picked, not Sweet. They could opt for both. If they opt for both, then totally forget about it. But if Soldo is going to be the solo ruck, then we've seen his scoring in the past without Nankervis, where it's actually really good. So he's one to certainly monitor. I mean, he's 485K while playing with Nankervis most of the time, which is pretty impressive. So new club, potentially new opportunity there. Tristan Jerry, a few people are going with this bloke. I don't mind it, but at the same time, like he's quite injury prone. I did hear a couple of like little niggles during pre-season. He should be the solo ruck. So if you wanted to go for value and you weren't interested in your Marshall, your Gorn types, then you could go Tristan Jerry and spend up a bit elsewhere. But I think personally for me, it's probably not for me. But I can see people using this strategy, and he can make 150K, and you can shift elsewhere in a bit later time. But I'm personally of the opinion I just want my rucks like set and forget. I want them set and forget. I don't need to be worrying about ruck trades too much unless of an injury, because I found it last year. The less trades you spend on Ruckman, it helps you the defence mid and forward line so much better with fixing that up. Connor McDonald, I just thought I'd bring this up because a lot of people are very interested in Connor McDonald and seeing what sort of role he could have without Will Day. Could he push up into the midfield? I think he's going to have a very similar role in 2024 because I think they do prefer Josh Ward inside the midfielder because he's actually an inside midfielder. I think Connor McDonald could eventually get midfield minutes, but I just don't think he's quite ready yet. He could play sort of that Dylan Moore type where he pushes up to half back, but just runs super hard throughout the whole game. So he could model his game alongside Dylan Moore for the time being. I just don't think he's a super coach pick as of yet. Zach Fisher, I think Zach Fisher and Carl Lamon are certainly the two blokes that I'm most interested in the mid prices range. So I think a lot of people go and set guns and rookies. But if this video is for people that are interested to hear anything about these mid prices here. So Zach Fisher, he's playing the exact same role as Colby McKercher in the match sim, which is just being a ball hog in the back pocket, chipping around like Holland Zeeble used to. So look, I think Zach Fisher, he's one of my favourite mid prices, and with how bad the forward line's looking, if he can average 95 plus, that could be a keeper for the rest of the season as a forward. Tom Lynch, 287K. I think he's only just gotten back from running, and as a key forward in a potentially bad team in Richmond, I just don't think there's going to be enough bang for your buck there. Sorry, not bang for your buck. What am I looking for? There's going to be a lot of inconsistency because he's a key forward. There's no guarantee that he's going to be bagging goals of 5 every single week back in the day. I mean, Jack Rewalt's no longer there, so he hasn't got his sidekick. I mean, he's either going to be playing with Jacob Kazitsky or Samson Ryan. It's a massive downgrade to when he last played with Jack Rewalt. So I think opposition teams could even be playing 2 blokes on him. So at the age of, I think he's 30, 31 years old, I just think, nah, I just don't think we can go there. I mean, he is playing in round 0, so we get to see if he kicks 6 goals. Sorry, got a bit dark. No. Sorry, I've got my PlayStation on in the background. I left it alone for like 15 minutes, but Tom Lynch, yeah, I mean, he's an older key forward, just coming back from a very serious foot injury. So I just think, nah, not for me personally. Nat 5, 283K. There was a photo today or the other day of him playing in the midfield in a match simulation. But can we trust his body at his age? Like, he just breaks. Unfortunately, the great man breaks down far too easily for my liking. So I don't think I'll be going Nat 5, and I don't think you should be either. I know he's got the good buy. I know a lot of people have fallen for this buy, but that still shouldn't mean that you're picking bad players just because of the buy. Sorry, not bad players, bad picks just because of that buy. James Jordan, 275,500. My guess would be that he's playing on the wing. I just don't think that's friendly enough for him to score, but he could pinch some midfield minutes without Callum Mills there, but then you've got Taylor Adams. So that's a bit of a logjam there. But I think James Jordan is certainly a capable player if they do move him into the midfield, but it's just whether they will. I think he'll be on the opposite wing to Justin McInerney. That is my early prediction. I think there's more chance of Angus Sheldrick getting inside midfield minutes personally. James Harms, it's just more if he's actually going to get inside the midfield, or is he going to be that half forward type? But It's really hard to say. I think he was doing some midfield drills today, so that's one thing to monitor. But that's without like Bonampelli and a couple of other midfielders. I mean, he was a midfielder at Melbourne, but that doesn't mean that in a new role, new opportunity. In a new club, new opportunity, that he's going to be playing that same midfield minutes. If the Dogs want to be serious about getting back in the finals, I just don't think James Harmes will be the solution to their fourth midfielder, that sort of thing. I'd personally be playing Riley Sanders over James Harmes. So that's just one thing to monitor. Devon Robertson, as I said, along with Jasper Fletcher, just monitor these two to see who could potentially get that fourth midfield spot while Will Ashcroft is out. Could it be Jasper Fletcher, Devon Robertson, Jared Lyons is another. So just keep an eye on that. And then Elijah Hewitt, just thought I'd monitor him. Just thought I'd mention him just because he is going through some sort of injury. I think it's a foot. No, yeah, it's a foot, I believe. A foot injury. He's been out since like mid-November. So just thought I'd give the heads up to people. Originally, I was actually thinking of picking him, but I just don't think I can. It's actually hard to trust these West Coast Eagles blokes because bloody hell, I don't know what ground their bloody training ground's an absolute war zone at the minute. Like I think I've seen like 8 different injuries to West Coast players. It's absolute madness. I think it's something to do with like the concrete under the grass. I think there's parking underneath their training ground. So yeah, I think West Coast Eagles fans are pretty frustrated with that. And just one more player we'll monitor. I personally range the mid prices from to 250k and 400k. Bar the midfielders, I think 500 under 500k can be classified as a mid pricer. Jack Billings, I do prefer as the best 270 to 230k option in SuperCoach, just because of he's had really good ceilings in the past and good scoring in the past. And I think at a new club, new opportunity, more determination because he's probably playing for a better team. He can strive towards some good scores. I think that's all he needed, just a new opportunity to have a fresh start and impress the new teammates. So I do really like Jack Billings. It's just a shame that he's got the round 0 bye, but we'll have those questions answered when he plays against Sydney in the first game of the season. And yeah, look, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a comment down below. I really do appreciate you guys as we go through this pre-season. 50 days until round 1. How exciting. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers, guys. Bye. Have a good one.